The Duke University lacrosse scandal began March 13, 2006, when Crystal Gail Mangum and her coworker, Kim Roberts, were hired to dance at an off-campus house party in Durham, North Carolina. Now, the house party was held by the captains of the Duke University lacrosse team. The so-called dancers were women of color. Now, with the exception of one player, every member of the Duke lacrosse team that year was white. So when Mangum arrived, she was drunk and on drugs, and the drunk players yelled that they had asked for whites and not, well, you can guess the racial slur. The arguments escalated, and the two women left. Kim Roberts called 911. Now, the two women got into a heated argument. Roberts tried to shove Mangum out of the vehicle, but Mangum, she wasn't having any of that. She wouldn't leave. So Roberts drove to a supermarket and she asked a security guard for help in removing her passenger. Mangum told the security guard she had been held down by three members of the team who raped and robbed her. Now, when the police arrived, the alleged victim changed her story. When examined, there were injuries consistent with sexual assault. On the other side of the scandal, after the women left the party, a team member sent out an offensive email making a joke of it all. The police reportedly spurred the district's attorney's office into action. An aggressive prosecutor named Dennis Niphong saw this as a career-making opportunity. Of the 47 players on the team, 46 were made to submit to DNA testing. The one African-American player was not tested. Now, the lab results were returned, and there were no matches to the Duke players. The lab had found numerous DNA traces from other men on the alleged victim, along with the DNA of her boyfriend. So, the rape case against the players should have been closed at that point. In fact, despite knowing that no matches existed, the private lab that worked for Niphong kept the case going on a fast track. It was determined the director of the private laboratory had written a misleading report. So he was fired for withholding evidence. The alleged victim was asked to look at pictures of the team members, though everyone in power knew the results. Two team members were wrongfully charged with first-degree forcible rape and other crimes. The drumbeat of media attention grew. Roberts testified that she doubted Mangum was raped. As the months passed, it became apparent that no rape had taken place. The charges, they were finally dropped. Now, ethics charges would be filed against Niphong for improper statements to the media, misinterpreting DNA evidence, and the prejudicial administration of justice. From the beginning to the end, Niphong pursued the three young men with a passion. Mangum would not be prosecuted either. She had a history of drug abuse and bipolar disorder. Look, there are no winners in this scandal, not even the lacrosse players who were charged and then declared innocent. The lacrosse players had choices. The women had choices. Certainly the overzealous DA had choices, and not one of them made the right choice. Combine a mixture of drugs, alcohol, and sex, and add a liberal dose of racism, and it's probably never going to end well. I've been asked if ethics training could have changed the outcome of the case, and if I would have included the Duke lacrosse coach in that training. Yeah, it's possible. Ethical training could have helped. But I also think there was a systemic standard of good old boy entitlement that might have overridden any training. Had the DNA results been just the slightest bit in question, the consequences to the players could have been extremely severe. This was not just a men's lacrosse issue. It was a university and cultural issue. As to Dennis Niphong, people have asked why this man, this supposed upholder of the law, would do such a thing. Well, Niphong wanted to be the prosecutor who stood up for the oppressed. Whether we like it or not, privilege does exist, and in some cases, race does play a major factor in our justice system. Niphong knew this, but he played his own game.